a little bit ahead of schedule now, but we do have Coach Sonny Dykes from SMU on a bit early, so we'll go right to Coach Dykes. The Mustangs are 4-0 overall. They were in action this past Saturday at TCU. SMU won the game 41-38. Mustangs will begin conference play Saturday in Tampa, Florida. They'll be facing USF. That's a 4 p.m. Eastern Time start, 3 p.m. Central on ESPNU. Coach, thank you for joining us on the call. If you just take a minute to tie up the win at TCU, please, and your thoughts on beginning conference play Saturday against USF.
Yeah, it's a good win for us and our program. Thought our guys played hard. Made a couple of plays down the stretch that helped us win the game. I thought we really played well offensively in the first half and then just kind of hung on in the second half. And, TCU made a run and our guys, I thought answered and really, like I said, played hard and did what we needed to do to have a chance to win the game. So a good win for us. I know our players were excited about it and good to be 4-0. I think it's been a while since we have been, and looking forward to playing against a good South Florida team this week, going on the road, first time in conference play, playing a team that's had a bye. That's always concerning when you open up on the road in the conference, and then when you open up on the road against a team, like I said, that didn't play this past week. So they've had extra time to prepare for you and, a chance to get healthy and rested. So it'll be a big challenge for us, and, our players are playing with some confidence. We need to have a good week of practice and, try to go up and figure out a way to win a game.
We'll take questions for Coach Sonny Dykes, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad will put you in the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
We'll take our question from Sam Blum of Dallas Morning News. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Hi, Sonny. I'm curious, we didn't get a chance to ask you after the game about Richard Moore, just kind of what his status is, and do you expect him back?
Yeah, he didn't play last week. Doesn't look good right now. I think we'll have a little bit more of an update on him probably later sometime today. Just kind of waiting to get everything, finalized and kind of see where we're at with him.
And then I know that obviously you kind of were hoping this week to maybe hear something about Kedrick James. Do you have anything on him? And I know you also were still waiting on Thomas Shellmeyer last we checked.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything regarding either one of those guys up to this point. So just kind of still waiting to kind of see what's going on.
Thank you. Oh, and also, are there any other injury updates? I mean, I know that there's a couple other guys like Loveless and obviously Robledo. I mean, are there any guys that you expect back this week?
Yeah. I think Kevin should be back in full practice tomorrow. So, we should have him back. Harrison had a knee injury, and he'll be out for the year.
Okay.
So he won't be participating anymore. And then, Judah Bell, I think, had a little bit of a sprain, but beyond that, I think we came out of the game pretty healthy.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
We'll take our next question from Joey Knight of the Tampa Bay Times. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Coach, when people think of the air raid, the common presumption is it's very predominantly pass, but you guys are averaging more than 200 rushing yards a game. Ideally, is that the way it's supposed to work, that kind of balance?
Yeah, I mean, I think every situation's different. I think historically, the way I was kind of brought up in the offense going back to my time at Kentucky and Texas Tech, we threw the ball a lot, didn't run it much. We considered screens, shovel passes, that kind of thing to be run plays. The one thing that when I decided to hire Rhett Lashley as the offensive coordinator, one of the big reasons was Rhett had been at Auburn and had been real successful, running the football. And I felt like for us to kind of take that next step and have a chance to compete for conference championships, then, we needed to be able to run the ball and just helped our defense by being able to run the ball. It helped us control the clock. It helped us when our quarterback may not be playing his best or is rattled. All those different things, are important, and you got to be able to hand it off and have some success. And so, that was one of the things I wanted to do was take, the air raid passing concepts and kind of mesh them with a little bit more of a really good, solid run game. And as I said, that was that was Rhett's strength, and what he was really good at was being able to figure out how to run the ball and be creative and teach it and do all the different little nuances that go on. And so as we started putting the offense together, it made sense to kind of combine the two.
You're facing a coach this week that obviously knows your quarterback very, very well. Is there any kind of concern about that?
I think so. I think that, obviously, Charlie recruited Shane and that, spent a lot of time with him. I know Shane's got a lot of respect for Charlie and really likes him and thinks the world of him. I think, it's been a couple of years, you know what I mean? And so sometimes guys change a little bit and are a little different a couple of years later than they are, maybe on the front end. I think that when you look at what bothers quarterbacks, it's always pretty consistent. You try to confuse them with coverages, and then, you try to pressure him and get him uncomfortable. And I think that's what we'll see, I would imagine. And I don't know that Shane is kind of exclusive to that. I think most quarterbacks are bothered by that. But yeah, Charlie's obviously going to know what his strengths are and going to know what his weaknesses are, and is going to have a real good feel for that.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
We'll now take our next question from Bill Embody of 24/7 Sports. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Hey, Sonny. With a win like that, and obviously it coming for the first time since 2011, have you guys noticed anything recruiting-wise, reactions from recruits that you guys are, just right off the bat, just more excitement or guys wanting to get by campus?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've had a little bit of recruiting momentum, and certainly when you go and you beat a team that's got a great name brand recognition like TCU does, then it gives you some credibility. And the big thing we've tried to do is be successful enough here at SMU where kids that we're recruiting say, why wouldn't I go to SMU? I got a chance to live in Dallas. I got a chance to go to a great university, live in a great area, and play for a championship football team and a team that can stack up against anybody. And so when you beat a Big 12 team and win a rivalry game, it certainly gives you some momentum and some credibility. And I think when that happens, you get a little bit more interest. And anytime you win, people start to notice it a little bit. And I think the recruits especially, just because, so many of those guys kind of have a week-to-week approach to recruiting. And so, yeah, I think it helps us. And I think it helps open some recruits' eyes and gives us a little bit of momentum for sure.
And then the play of Armani Johnson and Brandon Stevens this year, can you guys, I guess, Armani won the job out of camp. Brandon Stevens won not only a job with the scholarship and all that out of camp, but could you envision, I guess, them playing as well as they did against Jalen?
Yeah, I think Brandon Stevens, when you look at him, he's got to be, probably the biggest surprise maybe, and I don't even know if that's the right word, but just, his emergence has been really important to our program. To have a corner that has played as well as he has really changed, some of the things that we can do defensively against people. And then Armani's really starting to emerge as well, just starting to play with confidence. And both of them have improved their tackling. They're both tackling and playing physical. And then what it comes down to, we felt like the game Saturday would come down to, one-on-one throws. And, when you go back and look at the tape, and Brandon made a couple of really important plays, and so did Armani when they're trying to throw the ball to Rager, who, is, I think, one of the best athletes in college football. And those guys are up competing for those balls and making plays. And so I was really encouraged with their play. One of the things we needed to do to win that game was not let him get behind us and have some big plays. And our corners were a big part of us having success.
Thank you.
Thanks, Billy.
We'll now take our next question from Dan Tortora of wakeupcalldt.com. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. Kind of just to piggyback off of that, to not only get the victory over TCU, but to do it in a game where, you were able to stay the course no matter how close they got, especially at the end there. Just what you could say about the resolve of this team and that your current roster is really trying to create something at SMU that is special and obviously a new era for football there.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of truth to what you said. I mean, I was encouraged to see that we answered when TCU, it seemed like every time they cut it to a one possession game, we answered with either a touchdown drive or a field goal drive, and I felt like us hitting that field goal late in the game to go up by 2 scores was really important. That was a heck of a drive, and our anytime that your quarterback's playing at the level that Shane's playing at right now, that gives you a chance to move the ball, and we're running the football. I thought our offensive line probably played their best game that they've played in a very long time, certainly since I've been here, against a very good TCU front. And if you want to be good, if you want to have a good football team, you got to be good up front on both sides of the ball. And I think our defensive line really played well, and I think our offensive line played their best football. And so, that gave us a chance against a Big 12 opponent, and a chance really to play even. I mean, we didn't have to, run a bunch of trick plays or do any of that kind of thing. Our guys just played football and played a good brand of winning football, and was proud to see that. I think our team's starting to play with some confidence, and the roster, is a lot different than it was a year ago. We've just had so many new faces, and there's a lot of competition, and competition breeds work ethic, and our practices are much more physical and intense than they were a year ago. Our scout teams are doing a great job for us. We've got some kids that are good players that are playing in our scout team and making the guys in front of them better. And when you can have that kind of development in your program, then, good things are ahead. So, we kind of feel like we're just getting started, and we think we're recruiting well. And, the big thing we've got to do now is just make sure that we focus on, getting better every week, and don't spend too much time patting ourselves on the back, because we haven't really accomplished anything up to this point.
And then to just speak on in this game against TCU, the takeaways that you had, 3 fumble recoveries, just what you can say about the importance of that, and especially playing up against a team, Big 12 team, to take away those opportunities and make sure that your team had a few extra.
Yeah, that was big. It was big to get off to that good start, and we squandered an opportunity. We got stopped on 4th and 1, on the goal line going in, and which hurt us. That possession, not scoring on that possession, hurt us. But when you look at the plays, I mean, we knocked the ball out of the running back by playing physical, and did some things that gave us a chance, and those turnovers were critical. I mean, gave us some short fields and allowed us to get some momentum and get off to a pretty substantial lead, and we were able to hold on to it and figure out a way to win.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck moving forward.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
And we can take one more question for Coach Sonny Dykes, please.
We'll now take our next question from Damon Salas of Rivals.com. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Just wanted to ask you about USF. What is it about the team that you and the staff are really geared into, locked into, just in preparation for Saturday?
Yeah, well, when you turn the film on, I mean, you see a lot of real athletic guys. I think that's the immediate thing. Whether you're watching offense, defense, special teams, I mean, you see a lot of length and a lot of guys that can really run. And you see a team that has gotten better every week. I think that obviously they made a big jump from week 2 to week 3. Really played well. A week ago, and just a team that's starting to play with confidence and kind of starting to get it figured out. And so, they're going to have a bunch of guys that are athletic and can really run and make big plays on offense and defense and on special teams as well. And just impressed with they're playing hard and they're playing physical, and as I said earlier, it looks like it's starting to come together for them. And so, they're going to be a very good football team, a well-coached team, and a team that's got a lot of good athletes.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Coach, thanks as always for your time this morning. We look forward to hearing from you once again next Monday.